Hello everyone, and welcome to Adobe Live on this beautiful Monday morning, Monday afternoon, wherever you are joining us from. Welcome on Behance, welcome to the chat. For those that are new here, my name is James Bonanno, and I am a professional video creator, content creator, video editor, Adobe educator. I have a bag of tricks going on here on this Monday. I just wanted to welcome everyone from Behance. It's wonderful to have everyone here in the chat on this Monday morning as we start and kick off my first of 4 installments on a weekly creative challenge, which we're going to be getting into some of the details once we get started here. As I mentioned, this whole weekly challenge is going to be every single Monday at the same time. So if you're joining us today, make sure to continue to follow along as we go through every Monday, something new and different inside of Premiere Pro and inside of After Effects. We are primarily going to be talking about motion, and specifically in today's stream, we're going to be talking about how to create some compelling YouTube intros using the pre-made preset templates inside of Premiere Pro to get you really started on the right foot in the most basic and easy way possible. So today's stream is definitely going to be a little bit more basic, and I want to make that as accessible and easy for everyone to get started and create something really stunning for your work. Okay, so before we get started and before I hop in, I just want to give everyone a little intro as to who I am and why I'm here on Adobe Live. I have been an Adobe educator here on the Behance community and Adobe Live for a while. If you want to connect with me, Instagram is probably the best place to do it. Send me some DMs, send me some messages. I do share a lot of content that we discuss on here. So if you're looking for some more cut down, sort of shareable versions of what we discuss here on Adobe Live, go check out my Instagram, shoot me a DM. And for those that know Anna, my wife, she is a part of the Adobe team as well. We run a business together called Leave the Map, and this is our travel channel, which you will also be able to find us over on Instagram as well. So lots of different places to connect and find me. As I mentioned, I have been a filmmaker and video creator for the better part of 12 years at this point, and I love being able to be a part of this community here on Behance and Adobe Live to share some of the value that I have inside of Premiere and After Effects with you all. Okay, so that being said, why don't we hop on over to Premiere? Let's just make sure we got people doing their thing over in the chat. Let's see. All right. So let's go into Premiere Pro. All right. So as I mentioned, today is all about creating some really compelling YouTube intros using the custom Mogurts that are already pre-made, already free, and created inside of Premiere Pro. If you are opening Premiere for the first time, one very important thing I want to mention is that inside of the Behance, I will pull this up for you. Let's see here. Let's see what we got. Let me just minimize this. Here inside of our projects, wherever that may be, we have the starter files. Very important thing I want to mention is that inside, okay, so right here you'll see the starter files, and all of the starter files I have included. You can download and follow along with me today so that you have some information to go off of and actually really get a sense of what we're working on. I tried to make it really as simple as possible. Inside of those starter files, you will see the motion graphics template that was already created and downloaded. So to get things started, what I want to do is I just want to play back what we've created. And again, you will have this project file handy for you. So just moving around here a little bit, making sure things are looking good. Alrighty. So let's just play this back and see what we got. Awesome. So to me, this actually looks pretty freaking cool, if I do say so myself. And it took me all of maybe 5-10 minutes to do it. And that's really the beauty of some of these things that exist inside of Premiere Pro, some of these Mogurts or motion graphics templates, which we've discussed on here before. There's a lot of resources for them. But essentially what that is these are templates that are created inside of After Effects. And as I mentioned, right as we kick the show off, next week, Monday at the same time, I will be going into how to create some more custom ones. So if today is a little more basic and rudimentary for you, make sure to stick around next week and tune into that, because I'll show you how to actually create those Mogurts that we're using today, save them, and then bring them into Premiere Pro. But today is all about ease of use, making sure things go as smoothly as possible. And you can create something if you've really never opened up Premiere Pro before and you just want to create some cool, compelling YouTube intro or some sort of intro sequence for a reel, what have you. All right, so the first thing I want to talk about is my bins here. All right, and this we're not going to get into a ton, but if you're very new to Premiere Pro and it's, you know, kind of basic for you, Command-I is my shortcut for actually importing footage, and that's what you're going to do here inside of your bin. So what I like to do is just go into my folder, and you'll notice that I always have sort of the same folder structure, and I've actually created, I've created all these different challenges, which again, you will get as those starter files under the Behance project and on YouTube as well once this video is no longer live. Excuse me. So we're going to go into our footage, and I have all this footage, some photos of just like some random just assets that I want to sort of incorporate into this motion graphics template. All right. And I've already imported that here into Premiere Pro. So we're going to switch to the view that's the icon view. I personally like to just see things in the icon view so I can actually see what I'm working on. I like to use this bar here and move things up or down. And if you're in your workspace and you want to get to this specific workspace, I'm in the assembly tab. You can, you know, move all around from assembly to editing, all different things if you're looking to see your clips a little bit differently. All right. So we have our footage. Let's actually start with finding a motion graphics template that we want to use. And how do we do that? How do we go about actually finding that? All right, so we're gonna go back to our workspaces here. We're gonna go to Captions and Graphics. And Captions and Graphics is not only good for creating text inside of your project, but this is where a lot of those templates are that have been sort of created from Adobe Stock or After Effects from other creators. All right, so if I come up here to edit, this is empty. You want to go over to Browse, and you'll notice that inside of Browse, I already have a lot of these, you know, all these like lower thirds, windows, and all these different things that already exist inside Premiere Pro without doing anything. Again, today is really about showing you the power of what already exists inside of Premiere Pro that you don't have to go out and create. Next week, we will be creating more of them. This week, we're going to plug and play and see what we can make out of it. Okay, so what I like to do is go to Adobe Stock right here. If I click up here and I click on Adobe Stock, you'll notice that there's two different options here at the top. There's the free version and there's the premium version. Premium, if you get Adobe Stock credits or you want to pay extra, you can actually purchase certain templates. I've done that with one of these, so there you go. That's one of your assets that you have now that I have paid for. But the other one that I want to talk about is free. So if I click free, there is already 6 pages, if we keep scrolling here, of different Mogurt files, motion graphics files that already exist inside of Premiere Pro. All right, so all I'm gonna do is kind of like hover over one. And if I hover over it, you can kind of see what it does. So it'll give you like a little bit of a preview window. And this is really powerful to see, okay, is this something that I'm looking for? What do I actually want to use here? I don't remember which one I picked, but let's go to the next page. Liquid titles. Lens distortion transitions. I mean, this is pretty cool. This is like a kinetic promo that we're looking for here. This is like a geometric shape, which is pretty cool. I mean, these are all free, which is actually kind of incredible when you think about it, because you don't have to know how to do any of this. Like today is all about sort of not knowing what we're doing and still making something look extremely, extremely cool. There's a little contact sheet. So again, these are all the things that do exist already for free right inside of Premiere Pro. Let me go back to the first page because I believe that's where I pulled the one that I want to use from, possibly. I don't even remember which one I picked. Social media, here we go. Social media title opener, okay? I like this. I think that this could look really, really cool. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna create a new sequence, Command N. My sequence is going to be 1920 by 1080, and I'm gonna actually change this to 2997 here, and we're going to call this Adobe Live Test Intro, okay? And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually just drag this entire template into my window here, and I'm going to keep the existing settings, all right? And now if I zoom in and I pull this up, we just have one motion graphics file that's already created for us, and it has placeholders. And this is the power of having these Mogurts sort of interchangeable, and why I brought a lot of footage in, because now we can customize this how we want. And again, those files that you have in the project file in the link below can be used to customize this in any way you want. All right, so the first thing I want to talk about, make sure our camera is still looking good, and we are looking nice. We're looking nice here on a Monday morning in January. Beautiful snowy morning where I'm from. Not sure where it is from you, but hopefully it's a nice day. All right, let's stop wasting time. Let's get into the controls. So if I click this, you'll notice that against the right-hand side, we have an edit window, and this is where all the power comes from. All right, so you have global controls. So the global controls actually control the global control of a lot of controls there. The global position and the scale of the Mogurt. We're not going to touch that right now. What we do want to change is our text. All right, so you can see right here, it's just pretty generic, dynamic title opener, but it looks really cool, creative. We have a lot of different words going on. All right, so for the sake of this specific lesson, our first text, we're going to change dynamic to Adobe Live. Boom, boom. All right, and then you can see here, you can change the text, you can change the color, you can do anything that you need to do here inside of your Mogurt. So I'm going to change it to a text that I like called Gibson. You can change the size here. So maybe we want to make this a little bit bigger. Let's leave the color as is for now. And now we're going to go down to text number 2. Okay, we're going to go to title opener. Let's call this Weekly Challenges. All right. And I want to actually make this a bit smaller. So this is, again, this is just plugging and playing what we wanted to say, right? We can customize the color. We're going to get into customizing the media and make sure that you can understand how easy it is to use these. And I want to stress that this is a free template. We didn't pay for anything. It's all free, and it can work for maybe your YouTube videos or your YouTube intro in your channel. All right, so let's change this. Maybe we'll make this like a different font, something that has a little more, maybe some like cool outline here. I like that, this like phosphate outline. That's pretty sweet. Maybe we'll change the text color. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up my libraries here. And this is a library that I have of all the colors that I like to use for my videos. It's like sort of a rough style guide that I have. And so I want to take this like sort of this color over here and make that my text color. So all I'm going to do is take the little color picker, boom, go over there. And now I have that color selected. This is probably going to look different than the project file, that we started with. If you look here, it's already different. And that's what's cool about this is whatever your mood is, create what you want to create, and you're going to have a good time. All right, so we got those texts squared away. Let's go to maybe the next text here, which is trendy. I'm going to just call this like video hacks because that's what we're talking about. We're going to change this to Gibson, that same font. And let's play that back. Alrighty, so far looking pretty good. I think what we can't see right now is it's somewhere in here. So we go to creative, we're gonna change that font. And the thing about a Mogurt in this way is if you're not looking to really change things and you just wanna use what's here and change the color and the size and the media and all those things, this is a great way to do it. If you are looking for creating a little bit more custom flair to your work, After Effects is going to be the place that you're going to create those things. And as I mentioned, next Monday at the same time, we're going to go in and we're going to actually create our own Mogurt and then bring it back in here to tweak it a little bit if time permits. Okay, so we're going to change creative to Premiere Pro. I'm like typing around my microphone here. All right, and that we can't really see what it says when we zoom back, so I'm gonna actually make this a little bit smaller. Here's our size, all right? We can't really change the leading on that and like the spacing, but I don't mind that at all. I think it gives it a cool style. We're gonna go to Gibson again. I just like that font a lot. And I don't love this purple, so we are gonna go in and change that color, but let's just finish our text real quick. This says dynamic title opener. We don't want that. Let's just remove modern and let's call this After Effects maybe, because we want to talk about After Effects as well. All right, and then we have dynamic. We'll go there. Dynamic title opener, and let's just do this like share, because I think that's really cool. Like I want to inspire you to share your work, to get out there, to create this, put it online, see what people think, feel proud of what you're creating. So we're gonna go to Gibson again. And then we're gonna make that a little bit smaller. And then your work is gonna be the last thing. and we're going to do that same phosphate font, that really cool phosphate font, and we're going to make that really small as well, and maybe we'll change that color to sort of reflect the same color that we had in the beginning. All right, so now we have our font selected and what we want it to say, and that's already looking a lot better because now we actually have something that's custom, something custom to what we want to make. All right, so I think the first thing I'm going to do before I change the color, because you can see now here we have these color controls. All right, we have theme colors. So they've already kind of created a color scheme or theme, if you will, that they've gone with. I don't like the purple, not a big fan of purple, but I have my own theme, and this is my library again. So this is my colors that I've created so that I can stay consistent, with what I'm actually creating. So I'm going to go in here and I'm going to change these colors just a little bit and see what we got going on if we start playing this back. All right, so it looks like that purple here is still showing up, and that's probably because it's this theme color 4. So why don't we go back to the blue? It's looking pretty cool, looking pretty cool already. And let's now go in the last couple minutes that we have here, and I'm going to show you how to add media and why this is such a powerful tool. Again, I've talked about this on a couple different streams. It was stressed at Adobe Max by a friend of mine, Dacia, who you just killed it on stage. I still can't, stop thinking about how awesome she did. But basically, we're going to put media in that we've now dragged into our project window. So let's say we're happy with the color, we're happy with the font, the text, what have you. All right, and what we're going to do, let's just come back in here real quick. All righty. Wouldn't it be crazy if I did this whole thing in like a really poor English accent? Maybe I should try that one of these days. I'm down. All right, so we're going to go back into our footage panel. We're going to switch to the icon view so I can see what we're working with. And I'm just going to take, let's say, this clip. This is a clip that I shot here in the office. I think it is a cool shot that I lit so that I could use it as a background. Lenses, cameras, we're talking about cameras, we're talking about video. It's very appropriate to the intro. So that's what I was looking to do. I set my in and out points, and all I'm going to do is then drag the video only into my media. And you'll see that if I hover, you got to hold it. If I hover, there's a green arrow that will pop up, like a plus arrow, and then this arrow down. If I drop it in here, now watch what happens if I go to the beginning. Now that weird, empty space has now been filled with the video that we want, and it looks super, super dynamic. And again, all we did was drag one piece of video, downloaded a free Mogurt template that already exists here inside of Premiere Pro, change the color, and change the font. That's it. Those 4 things, and we have something that's pretty dynamic to start, at least, the project here, okay? So you would basically do this for every single one of these options where there's media to be replaced. So if I come in here, let's see, I have another clip of like my office here with this camera. I'm going to just do an I and an O for in and out point into my timeline. Excuse me, I'm going to drag this, and then if I play this back, we now see that we have this like static background. For some reason, and I'm not sure if this is this specific Mogurt or what, but I've been having some issues with some of these Mogurts or the media being a static image instead of a dynamic video image. If there's anyone in the chat that wants to shoot me a message, let me know, because I know that's not really the case on all of them. I know some of them are meant to have video. And if you actually go in here and you double click on this, you'll see that it actually saves to another sequence as a video. So that's just a little hiccup I have here today. But again, it still looks really, really cool. All right, and we're just gonna do that for this last couple media. Let's see if I like this clip. This is kind of sweet. This is me walking over a bridge in Iceland, because why not? And it's our video, so we're gonna make it the way we wanna make it. All right, we're gonna drag this in here. And again, if I start playing this back, all righty. So play that back. Awesome, cool. All right, so it's starting to look pretty cool. I don't love this blue color, so I'm gonna come back up here into my properties window. I'm gonna change the blue here to something different. Again, like the colors might change based on, like that's pretty aggressive, but maybe we go just to this, or maybe we go darker, right? And I can just come in here and I can customize this a little bit more. So maybe that's a little bit darker than it was. Okay, cool, boom, boom. share your work. All right, let's just do the last little thing here. And maybe what I want is a photo instead of a video. Okay, so I have that. Man, I am voice cracking a lot today. That's just what happens on a Monday morning before my voice has decided to start working. All right, so here we go. Here's me holding a camera. Very appropriate again for talking about cameras, video, photography, motion, all that stuff. We're gonna drag it, all right? And if we see what's happening here, if we play this back, alrighty, let's see. We're getting a little bit of a lag delay here. Sometimes you just have to render this, let it go. Cool. I think that's looking pretty sweet, honestly. And it looks like because I have that in here, this other shape comes up with me in the frame. I really don't mind that at all. Share, I think, looks pretty cool. I like the color. So let's say we're happy with the way this is turning out, and we want to just spice it up a little bit more. We're going to add a little bit of audio to really bring this whole thing together and make it ready to be exported and used as a YouTube intro, right? Or some sort of like really cool flair video. All right, so there's two ways to do it. We got about 4 minutes left here. Okay, we're going to go into our audio panel. All right, so there's a lot of things you can do inside the audio panel. We are not getting into a ton of it today, but this is a really cool one. All right, if you go to Browse, already you'll see that Adobe Stock has partnered, Adobe has partnered with some of these outside music licensing sites. Epidemic Sound, I believe, is one of them, and I think that is where a lot of this is being sourced. So again, there's a lot of stuff in here that you can use if you do not have a music library of your own, if you don't have a subscription to one. So let's just search something like, let's just go like funk. All right, and we're just gonna try. And I'm just gonna play back a few of these and see what happens. Okay, that's kind of cool. It's a little slow, in my opinion. I kind of like that. That's sweet. Maybe we want it a little faster. I kind of like the second one. All right, so all I'm gonna do, let's say I like this track. I wanna just get this thing out the door. I wanna make sure that my intro is as cool as possible. I'm gonna add this music, and that's gonna add another element to something inside of Premiere Pro that, again, took us all of maybe 20 minutes to do. Okay, so we're gonna drag this in. Same way you would any other audio file from your project bin, although you're dragging it from the, Browse audio bin, okay? So we're gonna add that. What you'll see is inside of your window here, you've added now a stock audio media. And if we look here, there's gonna be another folder saved called Motion Graphics Templates. Every time you drag one of those Mogurts into your project window, it saves as another file, okay? So you're basically saving that as another asset. You can put that in a library somewhere. Let's say you want to save a library of motion graphics templates, which is what I like to do on like a server, so I can use in future videos. All right, so let's just play this back, see what we got going on. Let's actually turn that down so we're not blowing out everyone's... That's pretty sweet. Although I kind of like this part of it, so I'm gonna make an M. M is basically a marker on the track because I like the way it like picks up. And I'm gonna cut there. All right, and let me just see if there's a way that I can sort of mash these two together. That's probably a good place to cut. And what I'm basically doing is just trying to find like a little bit more pop to end this video. So I'm gonna drag this out. My snapping is on in my timeline so that my clip is gonna snap to that marker. And then we're gonna drag this here, and let's just see if I did a decent enough job. Okay, so it's a little off. Let's move this down a little bit. Command K is how I like to cut these clips. And we can actually, if we zoom in, you can kind of see that overlap, which might work. I'm gonna throw a little cross dissolve on that, or cross fade, cross power, whatever you wanna call it. Whoops. Cool. So we can keep kind of tweaking this a little bit. We got about 2 minutes left. Let me see what the outro sounds like. So I'm just coming in here. I'm kind of like doing this quickly right now just to show you. Again, Command K is how I'm cutting this, but I just want to find like an outro point so that the intro of the video has sort of like a way to end, and then we can fade that out for use in, you know, all of our future videos. And we'll just end there. And I think we're just about out of time on today's stream, but just a quick recap again. This was about a 20-minute ordeal to go through, create a Mogurt, or basically just tweak a Mogurt that already existed inside of Premiere Pro. We used a free one today, so it is accessible for anyone with a Creative Cloud membership, anyone using Premiere Pro. As I mentioned before, the starter files, all the project files that I've created here are down below. And if you want to tune in next week, we are going to be here at the exact same time creating some custom Mogurts inside of After Effects for a more compelling and more customizable YouTube intro. So thank you everyone for joining me today on Adobe Live. Thank you to those on Behance. Thank you to those in the community. You are why we do what we do, and we could not be here without you and without the contributors to the community. Make sure you stick around. There's a lot more content on Behance today. I believe Justin Odisho is doing a pro tips right after me. Amazing creator. Go check it out. And I will see everyone next week. Alrighty. So again, thank you so much, and take care, everyone.